So, hello, my name's Lance McCarthy and welcome to my latest video diary. I've had the absolute delight and pleasure of spending a little bit of time this afternoon with Antonia and with Janet, who are two of our 11 amazing colleagues that make up our blood transfusion team across the organisation. So Antonia is the senior BMS for blood transfusion and Janet, a specialist transfusion practitioner. So welcome and thank you for your time.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Could you just talk me through, so you've got a massively complex process, a whole range of different roles that are involved in the whole of blood transfusion, but obviously really, really, really important that we're as safe as possible for all of our patients. So can you just talk me through the process for when a patient when a patient has blood taken from them until they then get administered at a later date with the transfusion and everything that happens in between to ensure that we can do that safely?
So basically, what we do in transfusion is to give units blood or blood products to patients as they are required. In cases of anemia, for instance, we might need to issue red blood cells, and some other times we need to issue fresh frozen plasma, or we need to issue platelets. The whole process starts with blood sample being taken from the patient because we need to know the group of this patient. Now, in blood transfusion, we have a 0% tolerance policy where we need to get it right the very first time, and to ensure, because once the blood goes in, you can't get it out again. And we're here to actually save the life of that patient, not to take it away. So we need to ensure that the items that have been put in place are adhered to completely. Now, one of the things we have in blood transfusion is we need a two-sample policy. We have that two-sample policy. The first sample that comes into the lab will be taken in a pink EDTA bottle, and we'll request for another sample taken in a yellow EDTA bottle just to confirm the first group that we've received. We start from the specimen reception area where we compare the things that have been written on the request form with the patient identifications on the sample itself. So take, for instance, the name. The things we look at are the name, patient's surname, patient's date of birth, patient's hospital number, or NHS number. Peradventure any of this is wrong, we'll have to reject that sample. Mm-hmm. If for any reason the time the sample was not indicated either on the form or the sample, we need to reject it as well. And if it wasn't signed, the sample wasn't signed or the form wasn't signed, we have to reject the sample. So it's completely 0% tolerance. We need to do the group and check with the second grouping sample that first group was correct before we issue any products to the patient. So in the process of doing all this, we need to do a group and the sample. We need to check if the patient had previous groups before, or if this is the very first time the patient is coming in. Mm-hmm. If this patient has had previous transfusion, maybe in the last 3 months, for instance, that sample that we have received is only valid for 3 days. If this patient is pregnant, for instance, the sample we've received is valid only for 3 days. If the patient was not pregnant and the patient has not been transfused in the last 3 months, then that sample we've received is valid for a total number of 7 days. So anytime a blood product or blood unit is required for this patient, we can use that sample for electronic issue within that validity period, depending on if patient has antibodies or not.
Blimey. So that is a complex process for sure, but really, really, really important. We get it right, obviously. Must be a whole range of audits that we undertake, must be a whole range of really detailed checks, double checks, triple checks, which is even more amazing and fabulous that we've just come in the top 10 safest units in the country, haven't we? Do you want to talk to me a little bit about that, Janet?
Yes, we are incredibly proud and honored, really. Nationally, we have been recognized, and it is a testament, really, of our commitment, our collaboration as a whole blood transfusion team. And we are motivated we are at 9th now, and we're motivated to go up to first. in case of transfusion safety. So we do work hard for transfusion safety. By the end of the day, it's the patient's safety. And if we think about it, blood transfusion, by the end of the day, it's someone else's blood.
Yeah.
And it does have benefits, but it does carry potential risk as well, and patient might end up having a transfusion reaction or allergic. It could be mild or severe. It could be fatal as well. So our main job is to ensure that patient is safe when they receive blood component, and that's why all this zero tolerance and second sample lab is quite strict with all that. Yeah. So
Rightly so, and thank you to your colleagues as well, because that is an amazing achievement to have that consistent level of safety, which must make all of our colleagues, but also importantly all of our patients feeling much more positive about it.
Yeah.
Talk to me about other things that you're proud of, because it is a fabulous team, a whole range of different professionals in there. So talk to me about some other things you're proud of as a team.
We got a UCAS accreditation a few months back now, and we're very proud of that. It tells us that with the governing policy, we are doing the things we should be doing as we should be doing them as well. So we're really proud of that. And since we have set that pace now, we need to keep it up and keep on doing what we're doing excellently well. There's also something in blood transfusion that you probably would want to know about: traceability. We need to know from that level of the time the blood was taken from the donor until it goes into the veins of the patient, what happened within the whole process. And we need to keep this for a number of years actually, to see and even monitor the patient after the patient has received the units, to be sure that we've given correct units for the safety of the patient as well. So when we have tags that we put on all our blood products when they go out, and we need for these to come back to us so that it can be properly documented to show the whole process from vein to vein of the patient.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
And how many blood products roughly do you give out over the course of a year, or how many patients benefit from different blood products over the course of the year?
In the course of a year, I think we'll be going into thousands, because sometimes in a day we could issue up to 20 or more blood products. So if you multiply that by 30 and then by
more
12,
than 1,000.
Yeah, so it's quite a lot. We have cryoprecipitates. We issue out fresh frozen plasma. We issue out platelets. We issue out beriplex. We issue out red blood cells. We have anti-D for pregnant women and all that are resource negative as well. So quite a lot of products going on yearly.
As a transfusion practitioner, we do play, we are two in our team, a BSM, so we do play a very important role in making this traceability 100%. When I first joined, we were 64% in traceability, and now I can proudly say we're 100% the last 1 year. And even minimization of wastage of blood components.
Yeah.
So again, we are proud about that as well. The wastage has reduced massively, because donors do donate thinking they're doing something good for the patients. And if we end up wasting it, especially when it comes to clinical area, there might be different reason for wastage. They might take it up to their departments and say they did not manage to administer it for the patient. If they don't return the blood component within half an hour back to lab, we must waste that. So that's the rule. So that's reduced a lot as well. So that's another achievement, along with 100% of traceability.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if we can, we should all be donating.
Yes, we should.
Because the number's gone really down with donors. But yeah, we do as a TP when we do training, when we educate our healthcare professionals, we do encourage them to donate as well. Yeah.
Fabulous. Is there anything else that you would like to say to colleagues, to patients, anyone else who might be watching this video?
Just to say also that we take a lot of we do monitor the temperature under which this blood and blood products are kept. And it's like Janet was saying a few minutes ago, if you take the blood unit out of the lab and it's not under temperature control for more than 30 minutes, we might have to waste it. So it's important that everybody using blood know that as well, that when the blood goes out of the lab, it needs to be, used immediately. And if it's not going to be used, then it should be returned to the lab so that it can be maintained under the temperature control.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you both so much for your time today. Thank you for everything that you and the rest of the team do to support our patients. Amazing achievements in terms of UCAS accreditation and being in the top 10 of the safest services in the country. Thank you for looking after all of our patients so well. And please, can you pass on my thanks to all your colleagues as well?
Sure. Thank you so much for having us.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you.
I'd also like to mention about our transfusion lab manager.
Yeah.
Luke, he's incredible. Under his leadership, we managed to achieve this, and great thanks to Luke as well.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you.